Welcome to the SCI Inquiry webinar. Today's webinar is going to cover how to access SCI Inquiry for a new patient that you're registering in CMSNet, how to relink a SIN, which is a client index number, on an existing client in CMSNet to a different SIN, should you have linked to one in error or need to change it, and also how to force add a SIN on a record in CMSNet. And typically this happens when you have multiple births for twins, triplets, or more, and you need to force in the siblings of the originally entered client. So let's go ahead and get started. Go ahead and log in. So the SCI Inquiry is the first process that you complete when you're registering a new case in CMSNet. So you're going to access SCI Inquiry through the registration hyperlink at the top of the page. The first page that you will encounter is the patient registration search. And we encourage you to search the system first to determine if the client is already registered in CMSNet. So let's go ahead and just do a search. Okay, so no records are found, so that's telling me that based upon my search criteria for CMSNet entry, there's no client registered. So if I thought possibly I might have had this person registered before, I might try different criteria, or if you know the case number or SIN, you could search for that. So I didn't find my my person already registered, so I'm going to go ahead and click on the link, the button at the bottom, New Patient. Okay. Now you're presented in the registration module, and the first tab that we encounter is the SCI Inquiry. Now this will probably look a little familiar to you, even though it's a web-based screen now, but we have the same fields that were required fields in the legacy statewide client index search. So we need to enter the client's last name. And then we also have the middle name, a place for the birth last name, first, middle, last name. Okay. Also, we add new date calendar pickers in the web, and so we will be making changes to all of them, but for registration module, this is the new calendar picker. I'm going to go ahead and say the date of birth was June 3rd. We need to enter the gender. You'll see we added one extra entry here, which is not known. Okay. There's also a place for the Social Security number, and we broke out Social Security number into 3 segments. This is the client's Social Security number, not that of the mother or the father. Okay, you can select a birthplace from the table. You can also type the first character of, and you can search that way as well. Okay, ethnicity. The residence zip code is required. And you can click the Find button, and the city and state will populate. You do see we have an extra field next to the zip codes. This is a placeholder for the zip +4. We will be including that as a future enhancement to include the zip +4 on all of the zip codes on our system. Let me change my county to Los Angeles to match my zip code. Okay, and then we have the mother's first name. And I know it seems strange to have this on here, but it's a required field to perform the search. If it's not known, you can put unknown. Okay, now I'm going to excuse me, talk about the Search SCI button. In the legacy, we used to have multiple options for searching SCI. And SCI stands for the statewide client index, and of course that's where the client index numbers are stored, which is the SIN number. So we used to have Search SCI, like an SCI Inquiry. We used to have Inquiry Add, Force Add, Link, View Details. So we replaced all of these options that used to be in the menu in the top right corner with just this one button for searching. So I'm going to go ahead and click this. Oh, I forgot my residence county. That's the one I wanted to change. Okay, I'm going to click Search SCI. Now this search has been combined. When it says Search SCI, it's also performing a search inquiry at the same time. So any results from my search inquiry ad appear below the bottom of this results section. So I did an inquiry, but it did also an ad at the same time. In this particular case, you can see that this is the details for my patient with the same date of birth and name. If this person was known to meds or healthy families or any other programs that are on the meds database, that information would be retrieved and would display down here. It could be more than one, especially if you have a client that has a very common name. But because I'm a test, I force added this so that it created this new SIN number for me. And so now my options at the bottom are to go back if I choose to abandon what I'm doing. I can link to this new SIN number that I just created on SCI, or I can reset this form and I can go ahead and process some new information and enter that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the link button. Okay, and then what happens next is I'm proceeded to registration, and I'm taken to the next patient information tab, which will be the next part to continue on with this registration. However, that's going to be in a different webinar, and what I'm going to do now is go back to the main registration page, and I want to show you how to relink the SIN. So should you have a case that came to you and you initially force add the SIN or mislinked that one, you can use this functionality to link from one SIN that the client's currently registered with to another SIN. So let's go ahead and identify our case. I'm going to go ahead and select the Edit Patient button. Okay. By default, I land on the Patient Information tab because we assume that you want to make changes here. The information contained here will be in a different webinar. So we're going to click on the SCI Inquiry tab to return back to the SCI Inquiry. Okay. You can see when I enter this page, this information is grayed out at the top because it was retrieved from the patient record itself. And the SCI Inquiry is grayed out. That's because we've already performed the inquiry upon entering the screen for you. It's already been executed. And you can see the results here in the results section. And this is the record that I'm already linked to because of potential duplicates found on the system. However, if this was a different case, like if there was one that was CCS-only registered SIN as well as a Medi-Cal registered SIN, you would have multiple selections here, and you'd be able to select the first or second or whichever one you like, and you would be able to continue and link to that one. So I'm going to continue. Okay, so that would allow you to relink from one SIN to another SIN. Okay, the next option I'd like to go over, I'm going to go back to registration. Is how to force add a SIN. So let's say that you have, well, I could think of a couple options for this. One where you have multiple births, so you're registering twin B, or you're registering triplet B, triplet C. Also, there's instances where you registered a client and you linked possibly like a meds record or healthy families record, and you later discovered that indeed that client was not really the same person, and you needed to force add a record. So let me show you how to do that. I'm going to go ahead and say new patient, and I'm going to register like we have a twin. Okay. Oh, mom's first name. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and perform my search. And I'm going to scroll down here. And now you're going to see that the message that I receive in the SCI inquiry information is that a potential duplicate is found in the system. But this is not my client. This is Twin A. So I want to force add. My at the bottom, previously the button we had in the middle was the link button. Now that I have done the inquiry and I'm adding a second SIN, and this is going to be for the twin or for the ones that are mislinked and you want to link it back to the correct client or create a new SIN, you have force add. So you can go ahead and click on the force add button. And then you'll see that a new SIN number is created and I can continue on with my registration. So thank you for watching the webinar today, and have a great day.